Welcome back. I'm Pratap here. Today is 21st January 2025. In this video, I'm going to generate different supply demand zone reports useful to the premium subscribers. Even before that, please understand we are providing complete free training on supply demand zone price action. You might be knowing the cost of the training is over 8,000 US dollars. And it is a complete free training. All the training lessons are available at our NeoStock YouTube channel. At our channel homepage, please click on the tab Posts. Some of you might be seeing the tab Community. Click on that Community tab. You get access to this post. This post is having a YouTube playlist link that will take you to all the training lessons. You just click on the link. Now we are into supply demand zone price action course. Here you have all the training lessons are available. You just need to scroll down to the bottom of the page. Here starting from lesson 1.1, all training lessons are placed in an order. So please go through all these lessons one by one and strengthen your skills related to supply demand zone price action. I have also provided the link to our Telegram channel in this video description. Please join at our Telegram channel. It will be helpful to you. Now let's get into the report generation with the help of NeoStock Software Supply Demand Zone Top-Down Analysis Strategy Builder. Okay, first let us identify the stocks near or inside the demand and supply zones. Price closed near or inside the demand and supply zones. Let's start with the yearly time frame. Price closed inside the yearly demand zone. We have 3 stocks. I'm giving you only few seconds time to watch the report. I request you pause the video, study the report, and then you proceed further. Those who does not understand the structure of this report, I request you complete our training lesson 21.1. In that video, I have explained each and every column, their values, abbreviations in detail. Okay, next, yearly time frame. Price closed inside the yearly supply zone. No stocks are available. Next time frame is half yearly. Stocks near half yearly demand zone. 2 stocks are filtered. Next half yearly time frame. Stocks near half yearly supply zone. 1 stock is filtered. Next half yearly time frame. Price closed inside the half yearly demand zone. We got 6 stocks. Next, half yearly time frame. Price closed inside the half yearly supply zone. We got 2 stocks. Next time frame is quarterly time frame. Stocks near quarterly demand zone. 1 stock is filtered. Next, quarterly time frame. Stocks near quarterly supply zone. 5 stocks are filtered. Next, quarterly time frame. Price closed inside the quarterly supply zone. Quarterly demand zone. We got 29 stocks, and these are the first 22 stocks in the list. I am scrolling the list down. We can further filter this list based on by adding high probability quarterly EMA Confluence to the quarterly demand zone. See, for these 26 stocks, I am adding this filter EMA Confluence at quarterly time frame. I am setting the filter quarterly demand zone having quarterly EMA Confluence, and trend on the quarterly time frame should not be sideways, because EMA Confluence does not make sense in the sideways trend, and its power is useful only in market is trending. That's why I'm selecting up or down. Let's filter. See, now the list is come down to 16. In all these 16 quarterly demand zones, we have quarterly EMA Confluence. Okay, next, quarterly time frame. Price closed inside the quarterly supply zone. We got 4 stocks. Okay, next time frame is monthly. Stocks near monthly demand zone. We got 7 stocks. Next, monthly time frame. Stocks near the monthly supply zone. We got 7 stocks. Next, monthly time frame. Price closed inside the monthly demand zone. We got 48 stocks. So first 20 stocks in the list. I am scrolling the list down. So total 48 stocks are filtered. We can further filter this list by adding the high probability parameter monthly EMA Confluence to the monthly demand zone. So in the EMA Confluence filter at monthly time frame, I am applying the filter monthly demand zone having monthly EMA Confluence, and trend on the monthly time frame should not be sideways. It can be up or down when you set EMA Confluence. Now the list is come down to 24 stocks. So first 22 stocks in the list. I am scrolling the list down. So 24 stocks are filtered. Next, monthly time frame. Price closed inside the monthly supply zone. We got 9 stocks. Okay. Out of these 9, how many of these monthly supply zones are having monthly EMA Confluence? Let's verify. EMA Confluence, monthly time frame. I am setting the filter. Monthly supply zone having monthly EMA Confluence. And trend on the monthly time frame should not be sideways. It can be up or down. So now the list is reduced. We got 4 stocks. And in these 4 stocks, these 4 monthly supply zones are having monthly EMA Confluence. But all these monthly supply zones are pierced zones. Don't forget, always you have to look into the pierced column. You already learned how to deal with pierced zones in lesson 28. Okay, this is about monthly time frame. Next time frame is weekly. Stocks near weekly demand zone. We got 17 stocks. Next, weekly time frame. Stocks near weekly supply zone. We got 15 stocks. Next, weekly time frame. Price closed inside the weekly demand zone. We got 76 stocks. So first 16 stocks in the list. For the reference purpose, I am scrolling the list down, showing the complete list. So total 76 stocks. Price closed inside weekly demand zone. Out of these 76, how many of these weekly demand zones are having weekly EMA Confluence? So let's add that EMA filter. The EMA Confluence weekly time frame, I am setting the filter weekly demand zone having weekly EMA Confluence, and trend at weekly time frame should be up or down. It should not be sideways. Now the list is come down to 19 stocks. So first 16 stocks in the list. I'm scrolling the list down. So these 19 weekly demand zones are having weekly EMA confluence. Some of these demand zones are pierced demand zones. You already learned pierced strategy. Okay, next weekly time frame. Price closed inside the weekly supply zone. So total 23 stocks are filtered. First 15 stocks in the list. Scrolling the list down. So total 23 stocks are filtered. Price closed inside weekly supply zone. Out of these 23 stocks, how many of these weekly supply zones are having weekly EMA confluence? Let us filter. In the EMA confluence weekly time frame, I am setting the filter weekly supply zone having weekly EMA confluence. So now the list is come down to 18 stocks. So first 15 stocks in the list. But here I need to set one more filter also. Trend on the weekly time frame should not be sideways. I have to filter those stocks. So up or down, filter as a. Now the list is come down to 8. Because sideways trend, EMA confluence does not give any extra advantage. The power will be only when stock is in trending market, not in ranging or sideways. So that's why we eliminated sideways trend supported weekly supply zones. When weekly supply zones are having weekly EMA confluence. Okay, these are the 10 stocks. Next time frame is daily. Entry time frame daily. Let us find the stocks near daily demand zone. We got 22 stocks. So first 15 stocks in the list. Let us identify high liquidity zones from this list. Dalmia Bharat, Idea, IndusInd Bank, Nestle India, NMDC, Pidilite Industries, Tata Communication is a pierced zone. We don't use for HLQ zone strategy. That's it. We have 6 daily high liquidity demand zones from this list. We identified 6 high liquidity demand zones. So you have to plan your trades according to the concepts you learned in lesson 23.3 video. Because some of you, I observed based on your questions asked in the comment section, some of you did not complete lesson 23.3 session and directly you are taking trades. Don't do that. HLQ zone strategy is a different strategy. It is not bullish or bearish trade setup strategy. Those rules you cannot apply for HLQ zones. Whatever the concepts you learned in lesson 21.3 video, lesson 21.3 video, the third video of lesson 21. Those concepts you have to apply. Without learning, don't go for the tradings. Okay. Next, for daily time frame, let us find the stocks near daily supply zone. 5 stocks are filtered. So Marico is having high liquidity supply zone and MGL is having a high liquidity supply zone. We have 2 stocks. Next, daily time frame, price closed inside the daily demand zone. We got 53 stocks. First 15 stocks in the list. I'm scrolling the list down. So total 53 stocks are filtered. So this is about price closed inside the demand zone, but we can further filter this list based on the daily EMA confluence. So let us add the filter, daily demand zone having daily EMA confluence. So in daily time frame, I am setting the filter, daily demand zone having daily EMA confluence, and the trend at daily time frame should not be sideways, it can be up or down. Let's filter. See, from 53, now the list is come down to only 4 stocks. So these 4 daily demand zones are having daily EMA confluence, and a couple of these zones again they are pierced zones. You can apply pierced zone strategy on those concepts. These are the stocks closed inside the demand zone having daily EMA confluence. Okay, next for daily time frame, price closed inside the daily supply zone. Let's filter. We got 27 stocks. So first to see 15 stocks in the list. I'm scrolling the list down. So total 27 stocks are filtered. Out of these 27 stocks, how many of these zones are having EMA confluence? How many of these supply zones, daily supply zones? So in the EMA confluence at daily time frame, I am adding the filter, daily supply zone having daily EMA confluence, and trend on daily time frame should not be sideways, it can be up or down. So let's filter. See, now the list is come down to 11 stocks. And these 11 daily supply zones are having daily EMA confluence, but price is closed inside the daily supply zone. So this is about stocks. This is about daily time frame. Next time frame is 125 minutes. Stocks near 125 minutes demand zone. We got 15 stocks. Next 125 minutes time frame. Stocks near 125 minutes supply zone. We got 5 stocks. Next time frame is 75 minutes. Entry time frame 75 minutes. Let us find the stocks near 75 minutes demand zone. We got 15 stocks. Let us identify high liquidity zones from this list. First one is NIFTY FMGC, but we can't use, it is not listed in F&O. Bharat Forge is having a high liquidity zone. IGL is having a high liquidity zone. Jindal Steel is having a high liquidity zone. ONGC is having a high liquidity zone. And Yes Bank is having high liquidity zone. We identified 5 75 minutes high liquidity demand zones from this list. Okay. Next 75 minutes time frame. Let us find the stocks near 75 minutes supply zone. We got 12 stocks. Let us identify high liquidity supply zones from this list. We don't have. Let me check again. Supply zone. All these supply zones are. So we don't have any 75 minute supply zones from this list. Okay. Next time frame is 25 minutes. Stocks near 25 minutes demand zone. We got 8 stocks. Okay. Next 25 minutes time frame. Stocks near 25 minutes supply zone. We got 8 stocks. So demand zone also 8, right? Let me check again. Demand zones. Yeah, both are 8 only. Fine. Next time frame is 15 minutes. Stocks near 15 minutes demand zone. We got 7 stocks. Out of these 7, how many are having ITF Confluence? Let's filter. That is 15 minutes and 75 minutes demand zone Confluence. I enabled the filter. With this filter, now the list is reduced to 4. Out of these 4, second one and fourth one pierced zones, you can't use it. Remaining 2 stocks, you can consider for your analysis. You can't directly use them. Because see, all these stocks are raw zones. So the raw zones means we are not checking whether they are supporting trend or not. But why they are useful? Maybe in your analysis, when you want to plan, at least the zone confluence related stocks might be helpful to you. If your analysis works, you can plan. Otherwise, you can ignore them. Okay, next 15 minutes time frame. Stocks near 15 minutes supply zone. We got 8 stocks. Now let us verify ITF Confluence, supply zone Confluence. That is 15 minute supply zone with 75 minute supply zone Confluence. I am enabling the filter. 3 stocks are filtered. That means these 15 minute supply zones are part of the 75 minute supply zone. That is overlapped with 75 minute supply zone. That is what zone confluence. Okay, next time frame is 5 minutes. Stocks near 5 minutes demand zone. We got 9 stocks. Let's look for ITF Confluence in this list. That is 5 minutes and a 15 minutes demand zone Confluence. I enable the filter. With this filter, we got all the 5 stocks. Any peers, they are. Second one, you can't use it. Remaining stocks, these 5 minute zones are part of the 15 minute zone. Okay, next, for 5 minutes time frame, stocks near 5 minute supply zone, we got 11 stocks. Out of these 11, how many of these supply zones are having ITF supply zone confluence? Let us verify. That is 5 minute supply zone with 15 minute supply zone confluence filter is enabled. 4 stocks. In these 4 supply zones, so they are part of the 15 minute supply zones. So this is about stocks near demand and supply zones. We also identified daily and 75 minutes high liquidity zones. Next, we will generate NIFTY and BANKNIFTY supply demand zone chain. So generating monthly supply demand zone chain for NIFTY. Always look into the zone column to find the high liquidity zones. Look into the pierced column to find the pierced zones. Look into the LTF trend to find the trend of the current time frame you have selected. Apply the same rules for the other supply demand zone chain reports. And also don't forget to pause the video when you are moving from one report to another report, because I am giving you only few seconds time. Okay, next, weekly supply demand zone chain for NIFTY. Next, daily supply demand zone chain for NIFTY. Next, 125 minute supply demand zone chain for NIFTY. Next, 75 minute supply demand zone chain for NIFTY. Next, 25 minute supply demand zone chain for NIFTY. Next, 15 minutes supply demand zone chain for NIFTY. All these are all supply zone, only 31 you have demand zone. So let me show you more demand zones by scrolling the list. This is the nearest demand zone and this is the nearest supply zone to the current closing price. If they are violated, the next zones will be available. Similarly, below demand zones also. Okay, next, 5-minute supply demand zone China for NIFTY. All these are all supply zones. I am scrolling the list down. Here you have the demand zone nearest to the current closing price. Okay, this is about Nifty supply demand zone chain. Next, BANKNIFTY. That is nothing but Nifty Bank. So generating monthly supply demand zone chain for BANKNIFTY. Next, weekly supply demand zone chain for BANKNIFTY. Next, daily supply demand zone chain for BANKNIFTY. Next, 125-minute supply demand zone chain for BANKNIFTY. Next, 75-minute supply demand zone chain for BANKNIFTY. Next, 25-minute supply demand zone chain for BANKNIFTY. Next, 15 minutes supply demand zone chain for BANKNIFTY. Next, 5 minutes supply demand zone chain for BANKNIFTY. But let me go back and generate 15-minute supply demand zone chain once again. Where are the demand zones here? 22nd. Maybe if you want to watch more demand zones, let me scroll the list down. So these are the 15 minutes supply demand zone chain. Okay, next, 5 minutes supply demand zone chain for BANKNIFTY. You have all supply zones here. I am scrolling the list down. Here you have the demand zone. To make it center, let me scroll the list down. Okay. This is the nearest demand zone and this is the nearest supply zone. So this is about BANKNIFTY supply demand zone chain. Next we will generate bullish and bearish trade setups, monthly, weekly and daily income trades. So bullish trade setup for monthly income trade, entry time frame daily, entry is on demand zone, bullish or bearish trade setup at daily. I am selecting bullish. And zone achievement, violated opposing zone, minimum order enhancer score 12. Let's filter. We got 7 stocks currently supporting bullish trade setup for monthly income trade. Out of these 7, we can further filter based on the zone confluence. We have 2 filters. First filter is LTF and ITF demand zone confluence. LTF is daily, ITF is weekly. So that means the daily zone should overlap with the weekly demand zone. This is what zone confluence. So I am filtering, I enable the filter daily with weekly demand zone confluence. With this filter, all 7 stocks are filtered. That means in all these 7 stocks, these daily demand zones are part of the weekly demand zone. And the weekly trend is up. Because daily is part of weekly, you can look for weekly demand zone with weekly EMA confluence because daily is there inside the weekly. So in the EMA Confluence weekly time frame, because the daily is part of the weekly, that's why I'm enabling the filter weekly demand zone having weekly EMA Confluence. With this filter, we got two stocks. So these two daily demand zones, they are part of the weekly and also having weekly zone, weekly EMA. So that's why these two demand zones are even more high probability trade setup zones. Maybe that is the reason why. See, this is already tested 2 times, this is already tested once, and 5 rejections. Rejections also part of the testing only. So several times it is tested, this zone. Okay. Next filter is LTF, ITF, HTF demand zone confluence. So I am removing EMA filter. This is ITF specific. Now we should focus on HTF specific. So in the demand zone confluence, 3 filters we have to set. First filter is already enabled, that is daily with weekly. Next, daily demand zone with monthly demand zone confluence, weekly demand zone with monthly demand zone confluence, with all the 3 filters, LTF, ITF, HTF, demand zone confluence, we got 4 stocks. So in these 4 stocks, these daily demand zones are part of the weekly demand zone, both together again part of the monthly demand zone. And monthly trend is having, monthly means HTF, uptrend for the first 3 stocks. If in these first 3 stocks, any of the stocks are having EMA confluence, monthly EMA confluence, they are even more high probability trade setup supported stocks. Sideways we ignore because EMA confluence in sideways trend, when you look for it, won't give any extra advantage. That's why it's as good as the advantage this zone confluence is having. That's it, not more than that. But EMA confluence with the trending market gives you extra advantage to get the success. So that is the reason why in the EMA confluence monthly time frame I am setting monthly demand zone having monthly EMA confluence filter. See, this trend is HTF trend is up. So as State Bank of India, this daily demand zone is even more high probability trade setup supported zone. That's why it already gave an entry, this zone, and prices are started moving towards the pierced supply zone. Okay, now let's look for, this is bullish trade setup for monthly income trade. Next, bearish trade setup for monthly income trade. Entry time frame is daily, entry zone is supply zone. This is bearish trade setup. And in bullish or bearish trade setup at entry time frame daily, I am selecting bearish. And these daily supply zones should having zone achievement violated opposing zone odd enhancer score 12. Both the filters are applied to daily supply zone. Let's filter. We got 2 stocks. Let's verify these 2 supply zones. Any of these supply zones are having ITF supply zone confluence, that is daily and weekly supply zone confluence. Enable the filter. We got both the stocks. In both the stocks, this daily supply zone is part of the weekly supply zone. And weekly trend is down in both the stocks. Let's verify in the EMA confluence. That is a weekly supply zone having weekly EMA confluence. Both the stocks are filtered. That means both are even more high probability trade setup supported stocks. Now let's verify whether both these stocks are also having HTF confluence. I am removing EMA filter. And in the HTF confluence, 3 filters we have to set. Already daily and weekly is enabled. Next, daily with monthly supply zone confluence. Next, weekly with monthly supply zone confluence. With all the 3 filters enabled, we did not get any HTF confluence. But ITF high probability setup they are supporting. Okay, this is about bearish trade setup monthly income trade. Next, bullish trade setup weekly income trade. Entry time frame 75 minutes. Entry zone demand zones. In bullish or bearish trade setup at 75 minutes time frame, I am selecting bullish. And this 75 minutes demand zone should not be pierced. So that's why in the pierced count at 75 minutes time frame, I am setting minimum value 0, maximum value 0, zone achievement violated opposing zone, minimum odd enhancer score 12. All three filters are applied to 75 minutes demand zone. We got 4 stocks supporting bullish trade setup for weekly income trade, and entry time frame entry zones are 75 minutes demand zones. We have 4 75 minutes demand zones. Some are already high probability based on high liquidity zones. We can further look for a more high probability of supporting that zones based on the zone confluence. First filter is LTF and ITF demand zone confluence. That is 75 minutes with daily demand zone confluence. Enable the filter. All 4 stocks are filtered. That means all these 4 stocks, these 75 minutes demand zones are overlapped with the daily demand zone. That are part of the daily demand zone. That's why let us look for daily demand zone with daily EMA confluence, because the trend is uptrend. So in the EMA confluence, daily time frame, because 75 minute zone is part of the daily zone, that's why we are looking for daily demand zone having daily EMA confluence. Let's filter. We got 3 stocks out of 4. So these 3 are even more high probability trade setup demand zones. Moreover, all the 3 are having high liquidity zones. This is a LTF, ITF and ITF EMA confluence. Next, let us look for LTF, ITF, HTF zone confluence supported stocks. I am removing ITF filter. We have to focus on HTF filters. So in the demand zone confluence, we have to set 3 filters. First one is already enabled, that is 75 with daily zone confluence. Second filter, 75 with weekly demand zone confluence. Third filter, daily with weekly demand zone confluence. With all the 3 filters, LTF, ITF, HTF demand zone confluence, we got 3 stocks. In these 3 stocks, these daily demand zones are part of the these 75 minutes demand zones are part of the daily demand zone. Both together part of the weekly demand zone. And weekly trend is up only for one stock. If this stock is having a weekly EMA, it is even more high probability trade setup supported stock. Let's verify. In the EMA confluence, weekly time frame, weekly demand zone having weekly EMA confluence, and trend on weekly time frame should not be sideways. It should be uptrend because it is bullish trade setup. So Bharti Airtel is filtered. It is even more high probability trade setup supported stock. That's why it is already tested 4 times. Of course, including 6 times it is tested, having 6 rejections. So this is about bullish trade setup for weekly income trade. Next, bearish trade setup for weekly income trade. Entry time frame 75 minutes. Entry zone, supply zone. Bullish or bearish trade setup at 75 minutes time frame. I am selecting bearish. The 75 minute supply zone should not be pierced. So in the pierced count parameter at 75 minutes time frame, I am setting minimum value 0, maximum value 0. Zone achievement violated opposing zone, minimum odd enhancer score 12. All 3 filters are applied to 75 minute supply zone. We got 6 stocks. So these 6 75 minute supply zones are currently supporting bearish trade setup for weekly income trade, and entry time frame zones are 75 minute supply zones. Out of these 6 75 minute supply zones, we can further filter based on the zone confluence. For first filter in zone confluence is LTF and ITF supply zone confluence. That is 75 minutes and daily supply zone confluence. So I am enabling that filter. So with this filter, we got 4 stocks. In these 4 stocks, these 4 75 minute supply zones are part of the daily supply zone, and daily trend is down. So let us look for daily demand supply zone having daily EMA confluence. So I enabled the filter. Let's filter. We got only 1 stock. This is even more high probability trade setup supply zone. Okay, next let us look for LTF, ITF, HTF supply zone confluence. Removing EMA filter, this is ITF specific. we should focus on HTF specific. So in the supply zone Confluence, 3 filters we have to set. First filter is already enabled. Second filter, 75 minute supply zone with weekly supply zone Confluence. Third filter, daily supply zone with weekly supply zone Confluence. With all the 3 filters, we got only one stock. So in this stock, this 75 minute supply zone is part of the daily supply zone. Both together part of the weekly supply zone. Weekly EMA Confluence we need not verify because HTF trend is sideways. Sideways EMA Confluence did not give any extra advantage. But because of this LTF, ITF, HTF zone Confluence, see, it has already tested 2 times. Okay, this is about a bearish trade setup for weekly income trade. Next, bullish trade setup for daily income trade. Entry time frame 15 minutes. Entry zone is demand zone. In bullish or bearish trade setup at 15 minutes time frame, I am selecting bullish. The 15 minutes demand zone should not be pierced. So in the pierced count parameter at 15 minutes time frame, I am setting minimum value 0, maximum value 0. Zone achievement violated opposing zone. Minimum odd enhancer score 12. All 3 filters are applied to 15 minutes demand zone. Now we got 7 stocks. These 7 stocks are supporting bullish trade setup for daily income trade. And these entry zones are 15 minutes demand zones. Out of these 7 15 minutes demand zones, there could be some high probability setup zones might be available. So we need to filter them based on zone Confluence. First filter in the zone Confluence is LTF and ITF demand zone Confluence. So let's verify. That is 15 minutes demand zone with 75 minutes demand zone Confluence. I am enabling that filter. So with this filter, now the list is come down to 7 stocks. In these 7 stocks, these 15 minutes demand zones are part of the 75 minutes demand zone. They are overlapped with 75. And 75 minutes trend is uptrend, ITF trend. If any of the 75 minutes demand zones are having daily EMA Confluence, they are even more high probability setup supported stocks. Let us verify. In the EMA Confluence at a daily time frame, because 75 minute supply zone is, demand zone is part of the daily demand zone. That's why I am setting the filter. Daily demand zone having, 75 minutes demand zone having a just a small mistake. I need to set in 75 minutes time frame because 15 minutes demand zone is part of the 75 minutes demand zone in daily income trade because entry time frame is 15 minutes. So 15 minutes demand zone is part of the 75 minutes demand zone. That's why I am setting the filter 75 minutes demand zone having daily EMA Confluence. With this filter, we got 2 stocks. So these 2 are even more high probability trade setup supported zones. Okay, next let us look for LTF, ITF, HTF zone Confluence. Removing EMA filter, ITF specific, we should focus on HTF specific now. So in the demand zone Confluence, 3 filters I have to set. First filter is already enabled. Second filter, 15 minutes demand zone with daily demand zone Confluence. Third filter, 75 minutes demand zone with daily demand zone Confluence. With all the 3 filters, LTF, ITF, HTF, demand zone Confluence, we got 4 stocks. In these 4 stocks, these 15 minutes demand zones are part of the 75 minutes demand zone. Again, both together part of the daily demand zone. And daily trend is up in 2 stocks, second one and the fourth one. If those 2 stocks are having, any of those 2 stocks are having daily EMA Confluence, they are even more high probability trade setup supported stocks. Let us verify. In the EMA Confluence at a daily time frame, daily demand zone having daily EMA Confluence. Because 15 minute zone together with 75 minute zone is part of the daily zone. So that's why we are looking for. But daily trend should not be sideways. So daily trend should be uptrend because it is bullish trade setup, HTF trend. Let's filter. We got 1 stock. This is even more high probability trade setup supported stock. Okay, this is about a bullish trade setup for daily income trade. Next, bearish trade setup for daily income trade. Entry time frame is 15 minutes. Entry zone is supply zone. In bullish or bearish trade setup at 15 minutes time frame, I am selecting bearish. The 15-minute supply zone should not be pierced. So in the pierced count parameter at 15 minutes time frame, I am setting minimum value 0, maximum value 0. Zone achievement violated opposing zone. Minimum odd enhancer score 12. All three filters are applied to 15-minute supply zone, and after that we got 6 stocks. These 6 stocks are currently supporting bearish trade setup for daily income trade, and entry time frame zones are 15-minute supply zones. Out of these 6 15-minute supply zones, we can further filter because some are already having high probability based on high liquidity zones. Apart from that, we should add even more probability based on zone confluence. So let us filter the list. So first filter in zone confluence is LTF ITF supply zone confluence. That is 15 minutes and 75 minutes supply zone confluence. I am enabling that filter. Out of 6, we got all 6 stocks. That means in all these 6 stocks, these 15-minute supply zones are part of the 75-minute supply zone. That means they are overlapped with 75-minute supply zone. And 75-minute trend is down in all these stocks, ITF trend. So that's why let us look for 75-minute supply zone with daily EMA confluence. They are even more high probability supported stocks, if any. So in the 75-minute time frame, I am setting the filter 75-minute supply zone having daily EMA confluence. With this filter, we did not get any stocks. Okay, fine. Next, let us look for LTF, ITF, HTF supply zone confluence supported stocks. I removed EMA filter. That is ITF specific. We should look for HTF specific now. So we need to set 3 filters. So first filter is already enabled. Second filter is 15-minute supply zone with daily supply zone confluence. Third filter, 75-minute supply zone with daily supply zone confluence. With all the 3 filters, LTF, ITF, HTF, supply zone confluence, we got 2 stocks. In both these stocks, these 15-minute supply zones are part of the 75-minute supply zone. Both together again part of the daily supply zone. Daily trend is sideways, so no need to look for daily EMA confluence because that does not give any advantage, extra advantage. So this is about bearish trade setup for daily income trade. In the final report, let us generate stop buffers based on daily ATR. First 17 in this list are indices, remaining all are equity stocks. So I am scrolling the list down. Whichever the stock you want to refer, there you pause the video. After that you can proceed further. Okay, I am scrolling the list down. So total 240 stocks. We generated the stop buffers. Hope this information will be useful to you. Let's all meet again in our next video. Thank you.